That's crazy.
Hey y'all, this is Ryan Monso, and this is Cats, the Cougar After Thoughts Show. Whoa. Presented by Star Pizza. That was fun.
Heck yeah, that was a beatdown.
We haven't seen U of H play quite that well this year. I don't remember it. I mean, obviously in some lesser games, you know, they've put a beating on someone, but that BYU team has talent, and they maybe were not prepared for that, but they have talent.
When I saw when I saw Jamie's scouting report, and saw that they like to just on defense, they like to kind of keep their feet near the, I forget what he calls it, I don't have it in front of me, but
it was a pack line defense is what it's called.
Line. Yeah, they like to stay near the 3-point line. I'm like, these guys are about to get ass blasted, because if you don't pressure us out past the 3-point line, and if you don't delay us from getting into our offense, you're done. You can't play catch up. You cannot catch up to this fast enough. I know their coach is supposedly like the next big thing, the super strategery NBA guy, but let me tell you what, if you don't play D in this league, you'll be fucking gone in a couple of years.
Yeah.
And what they played tonight, that was trash.
Ass blasting confirmed. The BYU coach Kevin Young says his team played bad defense. No shit. It made it more of a rock fight than it needed to be. Son, you gave up 86 points. That don't happen in no rock fight.
This was the least rock fighty of a game we've had in forever. I mean,
yeah. It just shows that
it was more of a.
He has not seen a lot of this conference.
It was less of a rock fight than A&M Corpus Christi. Come on. They do need to play better defense, but they need better. They need to be guided better, because that whole whatever he planned on doing defensively, that was terrible. That has no chance of working in this league. Same thing.
He had his NBA play card, and it looked like he was holding a wine list the entire night, like looking at it like, what vino do I want? Galen, who's not here, he's traveling up to Maine. This is what he texted. That's pretty accurate. This is child abuse. My boy Yakov did not have a very good game. In Mother Russia, you never go 1 for 6 with 3 turnovers. He did have 7 assists, but was minus 31 on the plus minus. That's what the final score was, or the difference. He was impressive looking in pregame, but wasn't quite that when Milos was turned loose on him. Emmanuel played some pretty good defense on him as well. And then Jamie's head of the snake was the Saunders kid, who ended up with 9 points, but 7 of those were in the second half in complete garbage time.
Yeah.
Jamie nailed this scout again. I mean, he's really good, but the last 2, I think, have been the best 2 that he's put out this season. I was with him before the game on the floor, and people were coming up to him Like, wow, love your scouting report. People on the staff came up to him. Love your scouting reports. I'm wondering if this is the first time Jamie's had to deal with that. But good for him. He deserves it.
We found Jamie because Reed was talking about him.
We didn't find him. We didn't find him. He found us, kind of. But yeah, Reed was talking about him. He went up and talked to Reed, which is great. So what are your thoughts besides ass blasting?
I know he puts a lot of work into it.
Puts a ton of work, and that's why you should read it, because it's not just a ton of work. It's legit. Some of the best stuff we put out. What are your thoughts other than ass blasting?
I thought Milo looked really good as far as being in command of the offense and really doing a lot of work that you exactly want to see, that you want to see out of your point guard, as far as controlling the pace, controlling the tempo, knowing when to get in and attack and when to pull it back. You're seeing a lot of growth from his perspective. And then again, Terrence Arsenault, God, he's just getting better and better, and being. It was nice to see him look like he felt really comfortable. And then we go to
Arsenault had 15 and 6, by the way.
Yeah,
it was 4 or 5 on 3-pointers. That is an insane night.
I mean, it's just getting better.
Yeah. But, I mean, he's not the only guy that had that kind of night. Malik quietly was 5 of 5. Javier, this was such a fun thing to watch from him. He was 4 of 6 from the floor, 9 points, some big rebounds. I think his defensive effort, his toughness, JoJo's toughness was really, I mean, it was kind of unexpected from BYU. They just didn't know how to handle it. It looked like shit, frankly, for most of the night. That was the most entertaining game I've seen this year. The Russian kid had absolutely no desire to be in Houston. 16 3-pointers is definitely something in the comments. I believe that's in the top 5 ever at U of H. The 3-point line's been around 38 years.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty good thing. I don't know if y'all hear the press conference behind me. I apologize for that. Brad, talk, and I'm going to just hit my mute so you're not hearing that background. While you're talking, feel free to work through this comment.
Yeah. I only do that. I only give money to Nigerian princes.
Yeah.
So
we don't give money in euros, so that's where you messed up. Go ahead though. You brought up Malik. Man, he is he's going to prove himself really, really, really valuable as the season goes on, because he's starting to be steady to where you're not as concerned. You always know that what the top end of what he provides from athletic standpoint, he's not making the mistakes that he made last year, and he's making more plays than he did last year, which is going to pay off it's going to pay off huge, because we tend to get in foul trouble, and that's just kind of the way we play. But like tonight, you had E-Man in foul trouble, and you had LJ with an off night, but you weren't really noticing it because Malik stepped in and played well, and Terrence stepped in and played well. Last year, it would have been even with the greatest point guard ever, if LJ has a bad night and E-Man is struggling, we're going to struggle. And then that's when we usually end up giving up a run.
with Malik playing the way he is right now, we are less likely to give up that run and then start pulling away and just dropping the hammer on teams like, just like we saw tonight.
Yes.
I don't hear anything behind you now.
Okay, good. It was, I think, more a question than anything else that was super loud.
Yes, Malik was feeling it. Let's see here. Where was it? Okay. Now let's see what they'll do against TCU, who I assume will be more physical than what BYU showed. Probably. They're at least going to be with a coach who has a better feel for the college game right now, or at least knows what he's doing down here.
Jamie Dixon is really good. They're up on Kansas State right now in the first half.
I just looked over. I looked over a few minutes ago, and Arizona was up 15, and that has come down to 6 over Sensei on the road.
Iowa State beat the hell out of Baylor in Ames. That's just a tough trip to make this time of year.
Any time of year. Actually,
you're right,
actually, when school's out, that's the best time.
Yeah. Utah makes that trip for the first time in conference on Tuesday night. Tuesday in this conference is hilarious. There's 6 games. They're all on ESPN Plus. You feel like you've got this great TV contract, and then, we'll just do 6 games on ESPN Plus. U of H finally gets back.
Ryan, I'm taking my girlfriend's dad to French's for the first time on Monday before the game against Frog. What should he get? By the way, he's Taiwanese.
All right, we're just eliminating Brad from the entire show right now. Go with the 4-piece feast. I get it with 2 breasts and 2 legs. I get the dirty rice, cornbread. It's $12.98. I think that's the way to go. You get a lot of food. Maybe you'll go somewhere else. Maybe he likes fish. But whatever, you'll have a good time. I'll be there, but I'll probably be there like 4 hours before y'all. Just how my thing works out. Felt like U of H trapped their offense early and couldn't play inside out. What do you guys think? There was a point early in the first half where one of their big guys got it down in the corner, and I believe it was Javier and Jawan trapped him. Maybe it was JoJo. Trapped him in that corner in the blitz, the monster, and he threw it across the court but into the first row. And I thought that was the moment that the crowd came alive and this team figured out that they could just bully BYU.
I think they had 4 turnovers in 6 straight possessions.
Well, they had more turnovers than field goals for the first 31 or 2 minutes. I mean, it was insanity. Just they could not put the ball in the hole and were turning it over at a big rate. That's a pretty good 28 scouts wasted their afternoon if they were there for the Russian. Yeah. Poor guy.
If anybody here is watching and is a video gamer, this game was definitely no Russian. Call of Duty, remember it. People know what I'm talking about.
Not all people.
No, some.
Yeah. So I went and learned how to say that guy's name. Just because it's Jaeger. Jaeger. Not Igor, which is what I was saying to people early. Like, that's not how you say it. And I went and learned Jaeger.
Jaeger Meister.
And Cordell Jefferson had just as many buckets as he did. So that's probably not ideal.
Hey, Cordell's a microwave.
I love Cordell. I really do. it's not going to be. He's not, in the rotation. But I love that kid, and there's coming a time when he's going to be a part of this offense. How was the crowd? The crowd was fantastic, loud, into the game. It wasn't late in the year loud, but it was like, oh yeah, we remember how to do this. This is a big game. We can influence, and they did, and I was impressed with it. There were some recruits sitting right below me. They were impressed with it. Derek Sherman was there. They had a wide receiver recruit in, I believe. There was a defensive line recruit. They were definitely into it. Stayed the entire night. I love that Jawan is back. Guy was dominating the glass. You had Javier, JoJo, and even Terrence. How many heads does the monster have now? It's going pretty well. Things are going pretty well. I do want to comment on this. Brad, that's twice in a row I've gone to a live game and JVR took a fast break and scored. The word fast is doing a lot of work here.
Was it Reed during the game called it the most reluctant fast break you'll ever see? It was like I'm watching a slow motion car wreck.
I'm going to go back and watch the broadcast because it sounds like Reed was in mid-season form, even though we hadn't seen him. That's kind of funny. The most reluctant fast break. He was definitely not
rusty at all.
That's awesome. Good dude. Cincinnati has crawled within 3.
At some point, JoJo's going to not foul people. And when he does, he will be one of the most dominant players in the country.
Yeah. Had some just more bad fouls, just not smart. Javier had 2 and 11 seconds in the first half, his first and second.
To be fair, though, that second one
was bad.
That should have been a jump ball at worst. But the worst thing is that the guy standing past Kelvin made the call, while the guy on the baseline, who was right, like literally 4 feet away from it, didn't call anything. But the jackass, 30 feet away, thought he saw it better.
Yeah. That's I'm blanking on his name. But yeah, he's a master of the 40 feet away. It's like the back judge in football that calls pass interference like 8 yards from the line of scrimmage. That just drives me crazy. That's what that was. Whose fast break was better, Francis's or Said Lots? I'm going to go with Said Lots.
I like the unplanned misspellings and frantic. It's like a panic. When Francis gets the ball, it's definitely frantic.
Okay. That was terrible, but thank you. And Ryan, don't ruin Towns' moment. Shout out to Brad Towns. That poor bastard. Good
but
for
I had
him.
multiple moments. So.
I was going through some things this week, and I stumbled upon one of your great moments of all time. And turn your head to the left. Turn your head, bitch. There you go. I'm never going to ruin Brad's moment. So I was going through some files, just deleting and getting rid of some things this week, and came across this article. They have the tying run on third in the final game of the series, and the guy tries to seal home, and UH pitcher Brad Towns throws a pitch 2 feet over the batter's head, which he swings at vertically and hits for a single. Right there, I said, Lord, it's time to get out. This is the story of Bragg Stockton announcing his retirement. And Brad Towns was the reason. Right there, I said, Lord, it's time to get out. So you'll always have that. I'll never have that. I'll never have made a coach quit. But there you go. The ticky-tack foul on JoJo for offensive foul. Yeah, there was that one, and then there was also a lane violation, which I didn't even know was still a rule.
Yeah.
You just don't see it ever called. Certainly not in this league. Oh boy, is Arizona gonna choke this off? They're up 3 now. Not great. I did not get to hear anything Kelvin said in the post game. Doesn't seem like too much. I mean,
Mac
what can you
says
really
he sees
say?
Cordell taking an off-the-bench role like TA this season for next season. Possibly. I don't want to call big things for him, but I do expect him to make an impact before everything's said and done. I just think he's got that kind of mentality.
Very good call.
I mean, when he comes in, it's usually at the end of the games, he's playing like he's starting. So I mean, I like the intensity.
Yeah. I mean, I like the guy. I'm a big fan. Well, here's some things you'll never hear in the same sentence. Was Towns channeling a wild, big unit back in the day? Towns and big unit, just not two things that I would... Certainly the women folk agree. You didn't make a coach quit, but you made an AP voter quit.
That is true. That's probably more impressive.
And one of my favorite writers of all time. Genuinely like the guy as a writer. But he's a pompous asshole, and there's no reason for him to be an AP voter.
He had his day, and that was also... That's a time as we were moving from print to digital in the world of media. He just didn't understand that, people can take you in small doses of being an asshole when it's once a week, maybe a few times a month, but when it's every day and everybody has a voice.
Accurate. What can you do? I miss you, John.
We have a dedicated celebration every year.
Every year.
Every year, just like Greg Ward Day.
Boy, those were the days. Arizona's up 3. It looks like Cincinnati's shooting free throws, but I don't have the game exactly pulled up. One thing I want to mention, Kelvin said it in the post game, that the best player on the floor defensively today was LJ. LJ did not shoot the ball well. He had 2 assists. He only had 1 steal. But Kelvin said he just did the best job defending, and that's some pretty good words for how you defended the entire game. I don't even know, what did BYU end up shooting? They shot almost 40%, which is remarkable.
You notice now that JoJo understands his role a little bit better and is tighter on the defensive rotation and his responsibilities there, and then you throw in Javier being healthy and can actually move laterally, you notice how much better they are on that defending the pick and roll and how much quicker they are as far as defending or trapping the post. They're just so much quicker and being able to cover a lot more ground. All of a sudden, all the guards look a lot better because all it takes is you give if you can make them pause for just a half a beat or at least one beat, then everybody flows right into position. And BYU just kept they kept trying to run that damn pick and roll, and hey, tactical genius NBA guy, it ain't working.
I don't know what his story is going to end up like, but he looked completely overmatched today. They have brought in some recruits and are bringing in another, but man, when do you think JoJo turns the corner, this year or next? When he does, he will be a beast. He's got to. I think you saw this entire team flip the switch today. I think it's been building, but today something clicked. I think that is going to happen for JoJo soon. He's getting starter minutes, even though foul impaired.
He's getting starter minute opportunities.
But he's also getting starter minutes in practice and is playing on that first team in practice. And it's going to happen. And I think it's going to happen this year. If it were me, I would guess that moment, that flip, happens in a road game where he comes up big when you need him to. And, it could be Kansas State or Kansas South or Central Florida. I think you have 3 Saturday road games in a row. I think it's Kansas State, Central Florida, and then Kansas all in a row. And then you come home and play midweek games for most of that, and then go to West Virginia right after Kansas. But yeah, BYU fan, Houston clearly has better athletes. They outplayed in all phases. BYU defense was poor, and BYU could not get any offense going due to Houston smothering the ball nonstop.
Agree.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just kind of the way
they were better on offense and defense, and that's how you end up with a 31-point game.
As far as JoJo, he plays. It could really happen at any point because he plays. He's the type of guy whose effort is like on the edge of control and chaos. Right now, he's 2 steps over on the chaos side, and he's going to have to get to a point to where he has to pick his battles, and he learns it to where it becomes more second nature, so he doesn't have to think about it. Because right now his natural instinct is to challenge everything and destroy the person with the ball as much as possible. That's great if you're a defensive end, not as great if you're a power forward. But once he learns kind of where that edge can be, and he can kind of control his aggression, then you're going to see him really, really take off, because that's the only thing holding him back right now is his ability to stay on the court consistently. Once he can start stringing in 35 minutes a game, then it's over. Sorry, college basketball, it's over.
I would be shocked if he ever gets to that point. At 35 minutes. I just don't think that's exactly what you're hoping for. It's a tie game in Cincinnati, by the way.
It took J1 a few years to do that, too.
Yeah, that's true. And I think Juwan ended up your number 1 minutes guy at Oklahoma State last week. Mm-hmm. It's 64-64 Cincinnati and Arizona. I think you want Cincinnati to win this, but I don't know. Maybe you want Arizona to win it. Maybe you do. Arizona's been kind of a crapshoot all year.
Man.
Just not sure what they are.
30 years.
Okay.
So anytime they lose, I'm happy.
Yeah, but Cincinnati has been a bigger issue locally than Arizona for sure. But yeah, West Virginia played really well today. Saw some of that. Then I get to see Iowa State and Baylor, but I'm going to watch some of it tomorrow morning before I'm back here for practice. KU loses tomorrow. I do not know. That's a weird game. They're at UCF. They lost there last year. That was their first. I think it was their first road loss, in what ended up 6. I don't even know how many.
Yeah. Well, that was the one that was definitely the one that exposed them. But I think they've already had their get exposed game against West Virginia. I don't want to take anything away from West Virginia. I think they're a good team. But Kansas
was the number one team in the country. Everybody thought they were it again. And maybe they end up being really good, but you hadn't seen it.
Well, they've got one major problem. Their major problem is Hunter Dickinson, and he's a walking curse.
I don't even think that's their number one problem, but okay. Bill Self has been trashing all the guys he brought in, and their fans are not really having it. KJ Adams is I don't know. Hunter Dickinson, I think, is a really good player, but we'll see.
I think he's really good in spite of the team.
Okay. Maybe. But we'll see. He's a walking tool. Fixed it for you, Towns.
True.
That's fair. If Galen is going to be in Portland, Maine tomorrow, we will have to be there. I don't know where that team is in Maine, but I know he's got to take like 5 flights to get there from Birmingham. It's the Maine Celtics, but I don't know where they are in Maine. If it's Portland, great. We'll have to be there to support him, half hour away. If that's the place, then yeah, go get your picture taken with him.
Let's see, the Maine Celtics. Let's see, where are they? They play at the Portland Exposition Center.
Okay, that means Portland then, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
it would
Portland.
be weird to call it the Portland Exposition Center in Bangor.
Bangor hardly knew her.
Right, with your, big unit. Dimon is not a top 10 lottery pick now, for sure. Not sure why you would not post him down low with smaller guard on him. Sampson is a really good coach, tough player mindset. BYU plays great at home, not on the road. I told Jamie this before the game, is that I think they're a really good home team. When we were there last year, that was a fantastic game until the last 90 seconds or so, when U of H just free throw them to death. But that's such a great environment, and everywhere in this league is going to be that way. Most of the top half teams are going to go 9-1, 10-0 at home, and then it's just who's better on the road.
We got blasted at Kansas and came back and did the exact same thing to them.
Yeah, Iowa State, you get beat, then you beat them here.
Yeah.
TCU, you didn't play them at home, but you beat them in the conference tournament.
Any and every road game you can steal, grab it and get out of town immediately, because that's a massive, massive win. Doesn't matter who you play.
Yeah, we talked about being 5-5. If you're 6-4 and hold serve at home, you're winning the league. It's just what it's going to happen. I think next week at Kansas State, at Bramlage, is going to be a war. Even though this Kansas State team isn't great,
no,
it's just a hard place to play. I'm going to be on one of the, 3 flights a day that go in there. I'm excited.
You're going to have to land somewhere and drive.
Oh, well, you can fly to Kansas City, or you can go to Dallas to get to Manhattan, and I would much rather Dallas into Manhattan. The only thing is, are we going to land at Gate 1 or Gate 2? Last time I landed at Gate 2 and took off from Gate 2. I haven't really experienced Gate 1 there. They're 12 feet apart, but still, it feels like a whole different situation.
Where was the dude with the little shrunken head from BYU from last year? The big chubby center who liked to shoot threes.
Oh,
the little bitty head.
Khalifa was his name?
Yeah. Did he transfer?
He banked in that three-pointer. I mean, I thought he was a senior, to be honest, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't think he was on the roster today. Nope. They have some weird names, but he's not one of them.
Let's see. Lane says Louisville. Okay. Why would he transfer? That doesn't make any sense. Guess get paid. Or got run off, maybe. Who knows? I
mean, people transfer for all sorts of reasons.
I figure he fits in perfect for the NBA look, kind of the
wine list.
Kind of a weird looking Joker.
Weird looking Joker.
Djokovic.
The road schedule will be the most important thing in determining conference championships with this unbalanced Big 12 schedule. Everybody's playing these now, and you're just going to suck it up. I believe they're going to go back to 18 games next year. That's where the talk is. The only person that likes this 20-game thing is Brett Yormark, and his coaches hate it. And so they're going to win. Now, down the road, if they want to pull the basketball away from the football and make it two different TV packages, they're probably going to have to play 20 games. But for now, I don't think they have to, and I don't think they're going to. And the coaches are going to win that one. But, yeah, this year with the 10 road games, that's just you're just going to have to find the ones you can win and win it. These next 3 Saturdays, this is so important because you're going to see the best road crowds on these Saturdays, and you're going to play them 3 in a row, and it's going to be difficult to escape all 3 of those and then go to West Virginia after Kansas. January is going to be tough. I mean February is tough too, but
at worst, you have to win at Kansas State, at UCF, and then at Colorado. Because outside of that, you've got Kansas.
See,
Arizona.
You say that Kansas State's a must-win, but I don't know. I don't know how Kansas State's a must-win. I mean, you obviously want to pile them up as quick as you can.
The reason why it gets a lot tougher. I mean,
correct.
We've got at Baylor, at Tech, at Arizona, and at Kansas, and obviously at West Virginia has turned into a much more challenging scenario. But I mean, those are ones that you could probably say, yeah, we'll probably lose those.
Yeah. It looks like Arizona's going to win. They're up 4 with 14 seconds to play. TCU has not put away Kansas State before the half. My son's first game, and he got to see a beatdown for the 5 minutes he was awake. You know, I have felt that way for most of the year. It's been hard for me to stay awake for some of these games, the home games, not the neutrals. But, yeah. What were you putting up there, Brad? Today's game taught me linked with athleticism bothers us. Just not linked. BYU was long, but didn't give us problem at all. I think they're athletic, but you've got to play defense, and you've got to actually give a shit what the other team is doing when they have the ball. And there was a lot of times when BYU just did not look particularly interested in defending.
I just think
Or, as you could call it, a rock fight.
I mean, it was just strange to me to see them. I mean, it's almost like they were expecting J1 to be, hey, we got to hold him under 30, so let's pack the middle as much as possible. And then they were just, they get moved once or twice on a pass, and next thing you know, you got three guys wide open, and we took advantage of it. They weren't challenging the perimeter at all. They're doing, like I said, it's like they were trying to collapse. I don't know what scouting report they looked at, but hey, I'm all for it.
Is there a replay of this game somewhere? Missed the first 30 minutes. So it's an ESPN Plus game. You can go into ESPN Plus and search replays, filter by basketball, and it'll be there. You can watch it anytime. That's one of the best parts of that. You're going to have some CBS network games, and I don't know of a way to watch those. I guess if you DVR it. But yeah. A question, Ryan, are you going to any roadies this year? I'll be at all of them with the exception of UCF. I just don't make that trip. Don't really care for Orlando. But I'll be at Kansas State this weekend, Kansas, then West Virginia. I just booked Texas Tech. I was not going to go to Tech, but decided to suck it up and go. But I pulled out of the Big 12 tournament. I'm not going to that. That was too much last year. Well, when you're we were on the road, and then Kansas at home, and then the Big 12 tournament for 5 or 6 days, and then turn around and go to Memphis, and then turn around and go to Dallas. It ended up a lot, and I am a homebody, and just gonna not do that this year and see. The trips in the tournament, the NCAA tournament, are not great. I think Wichita is the closest in the first 2 rounds, and then the second weekend is not ideal. Final Four is in San Antonio. That's great if you make it there, but not great trips. So I'll be all over, just not UCF.
It's like you get a travel ban to Florida, or at least Orlando.
Yeah, they played anywhere else. I just don't like anything about it. I don't like the arena.
That
I don't
long
like
month you spent at Mons Venus, or that's Tampa.
Mom's Venus.
Mons Venus. Don't worry
Okay,
about it.
I'm gonna just I'll go with
Here
that.
you go. What a beatdown. Heard Kevin Young mention in the postgame that he doesn't think that we will shoot that well again. Okay, maybe, but you got to defend. Even if we make 6 less threes, we are fine. I agree with him. We probably won't shoot that well because we will not play a defense that pathetic the rest of the season. Nobody
I think these
will.
are all fair points.
Nobody will bring a game plan out against us that looked anything remotely close to that. And sorry, I mean, if you're going to play a bunch of honkies, you better come up with something different.
Brad Towns is the one that used the word honky, not me. I'd like everybody to know that. It was 24-5 on points off turnovers. That is not great. That's not what you're hoping for. U of H shot damn near 50% from 3. Yeah, they're not going to do that. But the problem is that everybody was hitting. I mean, the only guy that really wasn't very good from 3-point was LJ.
But that's what happens when you leave people wide open.
Yeah.
I mean, if you take most of college basketball and you give them uncontested threes in the flow of the game, they're going to hit, 40% plus.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way it is.
That's just the way it is. Was great to see Francis have a solid game, needed the confidence. Francis had a hell of a game, was very pleased with his performance. I was also very pleased. I thought he showed aggression where he has not in the past. There have been times when he gets that second foul and he gets a little timid or he gets discouraged. And he didn't do that tonight. They put him back in. Once JoJo got to 2 fouls, they put Javier back in the first half. And he just decided, I'm gonna be strong. And, good for him. That is a genuinely good guy. And I've said it before, but that's who I root for. I root for the good guys. And he's one of them. And, Louisiana guy. That doesn't hurt. So, Ryan is not a fan of Disney. Sorry, Brad. No. Not a fan. I've been to Disney once. It was the year between my 6th and 7th grade years. My dad decided to have the talk with me. Told me about the birds and the bees on that trip. It was
Disney?
Traumatizing. Yeah, right before we went to Disney. It was awful. I'm not going to say exactly what he said, but it was the worst way to approach that talk that you could possibly have. Hot take, I was a little disappointed in the Galen drop. Thought there would be more merch. Usually this is one or two things is how he does it.
That's kind of his thing.
He's got
in a couple of things.
Yeah, he's got a staff of 1. And so he's handling all of that, and he's also trying to, play professional basketball. And he's in Maine, so, give him a break. But he's doing some good stuff. We're going to get that 5-star work ethic gear soon. Don't worry. We're going to get that. Kevin Young has not scouted as well as he thinks. We won't shoot again. I've just completely screwed this up. Kevin Young hasn't scouted as well if he thinks we won't shoot that well again, since we've done that at least 3 other times this season.
Well, we're 40% on the season.
Yeah.
We're number 7 in the country.
Is that good?
I heard it's probably effective. I think 40% from 3 is somewhat effective.
Yeah.
Now we won't get 30 uncontested shots ever again until we play BYU.
No. Yeah.
Roy lost his magic.
Yeah. Ryan, you were coming out of the 6th grade and didn't already know. Okay, time out. This was when he decided to have the talk. I went to elementary school in Louisiana. I knew plenty.
Well, back then, even the 7-Elevens had the
dirty mags, the stop and go.
Do not touch mags.
Yeah. Will we get Galen Monday night? Accurate. I haven't been in a gas station like that in so long. I don't even know. I guess they don't have them. But will Galen be here Monday night? Yes, that's the expectation. He will be here Monday night. He misses a lot of games in January just because his team plays at the exact same time as U of H. But we're going to have some special guests coming up, and it won't be Galen, but maybe it'll be okay. We didn't have the internet back then, Eric. Exactly. Prodigy was not showing me those kind of things, is all I'm going to say.
Oh, they probably were, but
not the Prodigy I had.
Just takes forever for the picture to download.
Well, this was like you were getting sports scores 3 days later. Joe Gleason is doing a stand-up for Channel 13 on the floor right now, and he's excitable. I like that guy. You should check that out because that's going to be pretty good. I think we've about covered everything we needed to cover. Brad? Emmanuel threw an alley-oop tonight. And I just don't remember him ever throwing one of those. Like the big JoJo slam. I just don't remember him doing that. And it was surprising, but it was also cool to see.
And I think...
I mean, I'm sure he has done it. I just don't remember it.
I was happy. I want to see more of that because we have that opportunity so many times. It's there if we're looking for it.
Yeah.
The tough thing is if it's not something you're constantly looking for, then that means the big is going to be calling for it. You know, he'll have his hand up just like tonight. And that usually tips everybody off so they know what's going on, what's coming. But if it becomes more natural, that could be devastating. Because then that really messes up the defense. All it takes is one step to give us an open look.
I think that's a lot of people, but yeah. After he got his third personal foul, Emmanuel hit back-to-back threes. And I thought he was about to just explode. I think LJ hit back-to-back threes in the second half. Malik might have done the same. I guess when they were that wide open, and U of H having their quote-unquote best shooting game of the year, that it's going to happen. Thanks for all you do, guys. Ryan, I have season tickets right in front of the media section in 119. I'll look to give you a fist pump Monday night. No touching. I'm just kidding. I have gotten over my social phobia of talking to people I don't know, and people come up all the time now, and it's like, hey, remember me? And I'm like, no, I have no clue. But good to see you. Yeah.
Just looking at our previous good three-point shooting nights. Let's see, we shot 58% against Jackson State. Or no, 60% against Jackson State. 50% against Hofstra. 50% against Butler. 47.4 against Troy. 48.3 against A&M Corpus. So, you know, BYU's in really good rarefied air up there.
I mean,
and he's right. We're not going to be playing any of those teams ever again this year.
No. So.
Sorry, BYU. Nice. It's not against you. It's against your smarmy, smart-ass coach.
Yeah, I like the BYU people. And, you know, I've had great experiences there for 2 football games and a basketball game. Their last time here was when they won on that walk-off in 2019 with the bald guy. U of H had the ball running down the floor and traveled, and they get it back and nail one.
Oh, yeah, the dude with the friar haircut?
Yeah. The 60-year-old. And then, of course, they gave us the cougar tail, which Galen is so fearful of, which is the weirdest thing in the world.
When we see Galen this summer, we're going to have to bring him one.
Yeah, I might take him to Provo and get one. Like, worth it. Worth it. So,
God, please do that in like a van. I want to see on the
in
road
a van.
with Roy and Galen.
I think we would be perfectly fine together. There are other people that I think I would not do well with, but Galen and I get along great. I would have to stop and brush my teeth every 10 minutes because he's got a little phobia of that.
What?
Oh, you've never seen on Instagram, he posts basically every day, brush your teeth and your tongue. And he's just so fearful of bad breath, apparently. He's a clean guy. So,
Not terrible.
there you go. Not terrible. Not great. We need to talk more about Star Pizza. We haven't done that, and I apologize. Star Pizza. Get you some Star Pizza. Brad, have you had it this week?
I have not.
We might have to go this week. We might have to go Tuesday. Go get us a buffet.
Buffet?
The chef's special, yes. The ricotta, marinara, honey, salted, butter, cup and char, pepperoni, link sausage on special puffy dough that Brad tells me is fried. You want to try that out? Or get you the Jawan. The
Sure.
pepperoni only.
Or you get you the Monso.
Onion only.
Sweaty onions.
It's so good. Y'all don't even know.
Oh, I do know. It's terrible.
Okay. We have got to calm down. Okay. I hate to be the adult, but I agree. Do not search eating cougar tail at work. I have a meeting with HR on Monday. All right, Brad, final thoughts on what you saw today.
Great win. Things are starting to come together. This is the team. I know everybody was really disappointed at the start of the season. They were expecting this team from day one, but this is part of the process. It's this is what it takes for each team to kind of redefine itself and figure out who they're going to be. And I tell you what, if this is the team, if this is who we're going to be, it's pretty damn exciting, because this is a damn good team that does a lot of things really, really well. And you've got to be pretty excited to see that we've got two solid fallback options from the guard position, with Arsenault and Malik stepping up. Both of them are filling a huge void that we hadn't had in the past. We haven't been able to go that deep with quality, at least what they showed here recently.
Yeah, I think it is the team that everyone expected, but Kelvin said this the other day. You led late in all three of those games.
Yeah.
And Milo's fouled out of all three, and you gave up those leads. This is not a bad team as previously seen. This team that you saw today is way better. It ain't going to be this way on the road, but, it's fun to see at home. But this is the team that Kelvin expected he was going to have come January. You've got to keep healthy. Juwan's got to stay upright. Emmanuel's got to stay upright. But Milos is really starting to show the leadership that it's his team. And the offensive weapons are there. I mean, last year or 2 years ago, if Marcus had a bad game, you lost. And last year, if Jamal was not on top of everything, you lost. But this year, you've got a lot more options. And as long as you've got Milos and he's in control and doing what he's really doing, I think you're going to be in pretty good shape. I think you have to be very excited about the next few weeks, about how this is going to look. And shout out we have 2 people watching on Facebook, and that might be a career high. So thank you to 2 people on Facebook.
Hey, we at least had 3 because we got 3 likes from Facebook. So
is that what that is?
We're getting
Oh.
bigger.
I didn't even know that's what that was.
Yeah.
It's huge. I mean, we're going to own the Facebook market. We get 5 or 6. That'll be great.
Dang right.
Great crowd today. Appreciate y'all. It's about to get real. You're going to be midweek Saturday nonstop. And you've got these 2 home games in a row, which is great. TCU has to travel tomorrow. Just trying to look for a score. Kansas State and TCU are tied at 27. That's worth watching. Or not really worth watching, but keeping an eye on. So there you go. GoCoogs.com all week. Brad's going to write for us. We've got some cool stuff coming. Jamie is at home working on the scout for TCU. We appreciate that. Thank you all so much for watching. Galen will be back, and it'll be a hell of a lot more fun. That guy does move the needle quite a bit.
Be smarter.
Yeah.
It'll be more intelligent. I'm always fun, but just not.
And he will tell you that it will be a lot better looking. And he's probably right.
I don't disagree.
Yeah. So, thank you all so much for watching. That's going to be it for us. Go to Star Pizza. Have you some Star Pizza. Thanks, guys.